Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Ask Weldon Show, episode 192. I am alive. We've been off the show for 4 days. I haven't even been able to stream. I had the flu, so I was lying in bed under the sheets, sweating buckets, trying to survive, thinking about myself in the jungles of PUBG, sprinting over the underbrush with my AK-47. But in actuality, I was the chubby cheek gamer lying in bed, sweating, and trying not to die from the flu. So I didn't die. I survived, and I took an extra day off just in case because I didn't want to catch pneumonia. And then today I was late because I was still sensing my body. I was like, do I want to get up? Do I need to get up? Should I get up? And it was saying no, 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 no. Yes. So here I am. And here we are with the Ask Weldon Show, episode 192. We have a couple questions built up, and we're going to go through 3 questions today. Remember that if you wanted to join the amazing comeback stream that happened 15 minutes ago before the show started, you should come to twitch.tv/MyGamesWeldon, where this show is live, and you can join the pre-chat cheering as I entered the studio, and everybody was like, "Yay, you're back! Woohoo! We're so happy that you're not dead." I feel like I weathered this flu pretty decently. I think that I felt horrible and there was a lot of pain, but I seem to remember other influenza. It's not a virus, right? It's a bacteria. Is it a virus? You get a vaccine for flu now, right? But it's like an antiviral vaccine. Influenza is a bug, I'm pretty sure. Influenza. Infectious disease. Yeah. But is it a viral or a... No, it's a virus. Okay. All right. Sorry. Is influenza a virus or bacteria? Yep. It's a virus. Okay. Cold is also a virus. So I was confused about that. I thought that they were the opposite. But, yeah, it gives you pneumonia if you screw things up with the recovery. So I didn't want to get pneumonia, start coughing up blood. Anyway, with those happy thoughts, let's jump into the show, everybody. Why don't we? First question is hilarious. It's from Victor, and it's about assistant psychology coaching tips. Okay, let's listen to it.
Hi there, Weldon. My name is Victor, and
Hi, Victor.
I'm soon going to coach a team on a continuation school here in Denmark. I'm not going to be quite a coach, but some sort of assistant coach or psychological coach. I've watched several of your videos and a lot of other incredible people like Jordan Peterson and LS, and I've really just taken all the information in I can get. So I'm just going to ask you personally if I could get any tips that would be very helpful for me. Thank you so much for all of your podcasts. They have been extremely helpful for me personally, and also for all my friends that I can give them the knowledge from you. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Jordan Peterson and LS, basically the same person. You know, same caliber, same level, changing the world in the same ways. Fantastic. Good job, Nick. You're doing something right if you get put up on the same pedestal as Jordan Peterson. Kudos to you, and awesome to hear. Okay. I just think that the world is a wonderful place when, like, a 20-something online video gaming focused esport coach specialist, like one-on-one coach specialist for League of Legends specifically, and possibly Hearthstone, and definitely StarCraft, can be put in the same bucket as like a 50-year-old or 60-year-old, how old is he? Like Canadian. Okay. Also, let's say LS is Korean, right? He's Korean American. I'm not really sure. He could be Persian for all I know. A 50 or 60-year-old, like, not retired, but like university professor, psychology researcher, who believes that video games are essentially the biggest waste of time that young men can ever have in life. Like, amazing. Okay, on to the question. My advice to you when you're kicking off an assistant coachship with as a sports psychology trainer, or as let's not call it that, okay, if you don't have a sports psychology degree, because I believe in the Nordics, and since you mentioned you were from Europe, I believe, yeah, since in the Nordics, and I think maybe all of Europe is adapting, I think FEPSAC might be adapting Finland's protocols related to that, so careful with that terminology, but let's call yourself a mental coach. There we go. As an assistant coachship doing mental coaching for the team, I would say you want to do diagnostics and basic education. So what you want to do for the team is you want to work up a way to get insight about them and their relationships with each other. I don't know if the team is just formed or if they've been around for a while, but you can wait a week and then do the diagnostic. So come up with go and find studies, go and find psychometric tools, and then read them, and then take the questions and adapt them to your purposes. Try to stay true to the factorials that the questions were written and validated on, but create some sort of survey that gives you insight into the team's mentality towards performance, whether it's towards mindfulness. There's mindfulness. There's the mass survey, mindfulness, something, sport, something. I don't know. There's a number of different mindfulness surveys that test your mindfulness ability. There's maybe 2 or 3 now for sport. Look those up. Just search for, you can use the term psychometric or survey or questionnaire like that. And you can search mindfulness, you can search group dynamics, you can search group cohesion, things like that. And those are a really good place to start if you don't have a lot of experience in the field or in coaching, because they do the work for you. You come in and you have a thing and it's already done. Some other scientist made it, and did all the work and validated it. You say, this is very important. And you can read why off of the research paper that the scientist who made it wrote. And then you can give it to them, and then they can take it, and they can maybe learn some things themselves while they're taking it, because they are usually very interesting, insightful questions that guide you in a way. They don't guide you, right? But I mean, they make you think in a certain way. Then you ponder them, and then afterwards you get to give them the results, and you get to interpret the results from the research paper that you had, right? So it's kind of like a win-win-win for everybody. You get to learn, they get to learn. It's all pre-made for you, and that's what I recommend. And then the thing you want to do is basic education. So think about what you can actually teach already, and package it together in a curriculum of 5 days. I don't mean 5 days in a row. I mean, let's say you're going to do 1 hour a week for 5 weeks. And what path do you want to take them on? What journey? Make a road that is 5 days long, or whatever, 5 hours long, that ends somewhere, and plan the person's encounter with information along the way and predict where they will be at the end. And one way that you can figure out how to start that path is you can do, like I said, an entrance diagnostic. You can interview each player. You can say, what do you know about performance and what do you know about yourself? And then you can get a grasp of where they all are, and then you can make this workshop plan. So that's what I would do. Good luck, and thanks for the question. Okay, guys. Question number 2 from Mitch on Anchor.
I've been having trouble figuring out the best way to spend my time reviewing my games, I guess. Whether it's watching my deaths after a game, or having 2 monitors and comparing my gameplay in a similar matchup to a pro player in the same matchup. I just don't know which is the most efficient way to spend my time.
Okay, Mitch. Thanks for the question. So, reviewing your own games, trying to figure out the most efficient way to review your own games. I believe the most efficient way to review your own games is like this. First, finish your game, grab a piece of paper or a text pad on your computer, and visualize the whole game from start to finish. And I don't mean in detail, right? I mean just get the whole game in your head. Think okay, level 1 started, what was the big moment after level 1? Like, what did we do? Okay, we went there. Okay, what happened next? When did the laning phase end? Okay, try to think through the whole game. Get out of like the end of the game or like the big problem in the game that your mind is stuck on. Just kind of think through the whole game. Try to visualize a little bit, okay? Pick out the big problem and then like another one or preferably two important spots. Preferably three total, okay? But you're going to have one stuck in your head where like this is where we lost the game or this is where we won the game, okay? Get the other two. Those spots, right? Like label them, write them down, right? Be like the time when Skarner ganked our lane and died, fed the enemy Caitlyn. The time when my support rotated mid right before laning phase end instead of staying one more second, and then I followed the rotation after I'd cleared the minions and they killed me on the way, and then like we didn't get to push mid tower. Instead, they took our mid tower and our bot tower, you know. And then we were all at Baron holding it okay, and then our mid laner just randomly walked into the bot side jungle and killed a pink ward, and they killed us all. You know, something like that. So write down those three things, okay? And then pull up the VOD to those spots. Visualize them first, okay? Visualize like what happened, then watch it. Compare visualization with reality, okay? And then afterwards, I want you to watch like maybe 30 seconds afterwards and see how bad the game really is and what you could have done to mitigate the badness or those situations or to push the goodness. Because what usually happens is when something bad like that happens, we think things are way worse and we react too defensively. And when we get something good, we think things are way too good and we react too complacently. So we don't take advantages when we should, and we give away advantages when we shouldn't. And those are the biggest opportunities because those are the weakest points of the mind, the ones that you remember. The reason you start with memory is because those are the places that signify your mental weakness or like the biggest emotional impact on the game where you have the potential to get the most out of training, okay? That's why we start with memory. Because you don't have a coach. If we had a coach, we could start with like importance, right? So we need to rank them in terms of like emotional importance for you because that's the best place for your training. Then you go to those places, right? You watch them. You're like, okay, this is what I should have done in this situation. Communication-wise, to call this off, or like, body-wise, to like not show that I was going to be going in so that it didn't encourage him, et cetera, et cetera. And then you look afterwards and you say, okay, what should I have done to recover from this more efficiently? What should I have done to abuse this more brutally? And that's it. Just look at those three spots and then be done. If you want the second tier, so that's first tier. Always do that. Okay? That's what I would do. Second tier after that, I would say, is to do a 2x speed of your laning and just watch all the trades. And anytime he gets a good trade on you, slow it down and figure out why. Where did you mess up? And anytime you get a good trade on him, if you know where he messed up and you know how you did it, great. But if you don't, then you just got lucky and you got to figure out how to get real. Okay? And anytime you get ganked, like, you got to decide if you were playing smartly or not. I mean, that's just, you can't just diagnose ganks. You have to diagnose when you're exposed that you should have been ganked, but you weren't also. So that's kind of jungler dependent. But that's my answer. All right, we have one more question. Before diving into that question, two things. Number one, I need questions on Anchor, anchor.fm/Weldon Green, this app right here that I'm using for the show, because on Saturday, we're going to cancel the Ask Weldon show, and we're going to have the Ask I Will Dominate show. We're going to follow up his stream with an Ask Weldon show, and we're going to have a number of questions specifically for him on the show, and we're going to answer them together. So please submit your questions now for the Ask I Will Dominate show. And also, please check out my Mac program. This is the program that I made essentially for, oh my gosh, it's like eating me. Hang on. Oh, I can't move the camera. It's too locked. All right, here we go. I'll move my desk. Hi, everybody. This is the program that I made specifically. Oh, now I'm bending down. Specifically for making clone copies of myself to go around to all the world so that I could coach everybody in a one-on-one way, but through video. It's an online video training course, 47 videos. You pay one price. You get access forever, even if I upgrade it. Even when I upgrade it, it's becoming an app in a few months, and you're going to get access to that. Pay one price forever for that right now. Obviously, that pricing model's going away in the future. And you log in, and you have 47 videos there, and you just go through them sequentially, one per day. So it's like a 7 days a week program. Obviously, you can spread it out a little bit. 3 days a week is the recommended minimum. And it's $30, but you need to use the code AskWeldon, AskWeldon, to get the $5 discount. Knock it down to $25. And after, this is the third version of the program. Tried a number of different pricing models and a number of different versions of the data and how I present the stuff. And this is the version from 2015, which I launched right when I was, I think, at Worlds with TSM in 2016. I think I launched it then, maybe. Actually, I think I launched it earlier in the summer, and that's when it kind of took off a little bit. But since then, I have not been able to update it, and now I'm updating it again. And it contains, this version contains the ideas of mindfulness, acceptance, commitment, which are the fundamentals for mental resilience that I kind of like teach every pro squad that I get with, and it helps them overcome the barriers that they have when they're doing performance, when they're trying to keep themselves committed to their goals. So for you, it helps you. It's not like a League of Legends training program. It is a mental resilience training program for performance and motivation. And not really motivation, right? It's for how to keep you committed when you don't have motivation. It's for discipline. That's the secret key. Poise and discipline. So, yeah, make sure to check it out. By the way, it's guaranteed in terms of like satisfaction. So if you don't like it, you just email me. Please don't message me. I just realized I've had a Twitter message for like weeks. Somebody asking for a refund, but I have so much spam messaging on Twitter since I have nonstop open DMs and 25,000 followers that it's really hard to sift through the noise there. So if you are a customer, please use the private email that is available to you on my site by clicking the support button when you're logged in, and it will send me a ticket, and I can refund you that way very easily as soon as I am able to get to my desk. So yeah, that is and that's forever, by the way. It's not like, you can even do the whole program and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't get any results out of this, and I don't really think it was that great. Okay, that's your experience with it, and I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not after your money. I'm after. Well, okay, I am after your money, but I'm after changing the world along with it. I can find another group of people to change the world with if you don't want me to use your money to do it, to survive with. So it's all good. It's all good. Please check it out. mindgames.gg/MAC. Last question, guys. No. Sorry. It's been like 4 days since I streamed, and I just clicked all the random wrong scenes there. All right. Last question. Let me see if I can use my question plot here. Yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't prep the text for this. It's an audio question, but I can look up at this blank white box with the rest of you, and we can listen to it.
Hey, Weldon, just curious if it's important to go into ranked from your warm-ups, whether it be a ARAM or draft or maybe a flex, with a win instead of a loss.
All right, Corey, thank you so much for that wonderful question. And I appreciate your beautiful radio quality sounding voice. Is it important to end warm-ups with a win? No and yes. No if you are mentally resilient. Yes if you are mentally weak. So judge yourself and don't, figure out for yourself, but don't judge yourself. If you need a win to perform better, that's a character flaw, okay? And it is something that you can aspire to train out of, but it doesn't mean that you are a bad person. That's a normal human thing, right? That's how our emotions are wired. It's an opportunity for you to train yourself out of that need. And I think that that's a really exciting place to be in, is be like, oh, sweet. I need a win to come out when I'm coming out of warm-ups in order to feel like I'm warmed up. So yeah, great. Chance for me to grow. Technically, no, you don't need to win. And so the things that you need out of warm-ups are, you need the emotional, the chemical cocktail necessary for peak performance. which usually is, testosterone and cortisol, the kind of main hormones that are going to be firing off of competitive drive and desire that are going to be necessary for the body and the mind to create all its chemicals to compete. And that you can do a little bit like preparatory with mental, but you can also do it with a warm-up game. You only need a warm-up game if we're talking about League of Legends, because really you only need like a few minutes. It's not like running where there's this specific cascade of things that is going to happen in your muscle until fuel delivery is like fluid from your liver and from your lungs all the way to your muscle. That takes about 8 minutes, I believe. I've been told. I was in a running lab running on a treadmill, and that's what they told me. So I believe it, because the guy was a biological researcher. But and he showed me the first few cascades. Looks pretty cool. But I there's nothing like that for League of Legends. There's no need for warm up, right? It's all mental. So you just got to get the juices flowing. And if that takes one competitive game, then that's a good thing. It doesn't take a competitive win though, and that is for certain. If you do need a competitive win, look at the emotions that you seem to require when you're performing. One of them might be confidence, and I would say you need to work on that, because I want you to be brave and vulnerable and able to commit without confidence. Okay? You have your skill. Whether you think your skill is suitable or not, it's irrelevant. It is either suitable or it's not. Okay? So your skill is up to the task, and if it's up to the task, you should strive to perform as well as you can, and you will have victory. And if it's not up to the task, should you quit? No. You should try to supersede your limits and make the attempt, and if it's not up to the task, then you lose, and that is sport. Confidence has nothing to do with it. You can have very, very high confidence and go in and get your butt handed to you and just lose straight up. You can have incredibly low confidence, and your opponent will just tank, and you can just win because you're better. It's not because your opponent tanks, it's because you're better. You didn't tank, okay? So confidence, although it seems to have a lot to do with performance, should have very little to do with performance. I want you to prioritize competence over confidence, and I want you to be confident in your ability to not care if you're shaking and vulnerable and worried and just go anyway, all right? So if you need that emotional satisfaction of a win in order to feel warmed up, then I want you to look at what kind of emotions you feel like you are required to have to play in a way that makes you happy. And I would say, find a way to play without those emotions. Find a way to play in an aggressive way, in a brave way, in a way that you push yourself and push your opponent and maybe fail, but without the confidence that you feel like you need to have from that warm-up victory. Okay. Thank you for that question. I didn't really address the answer at you. I kind of addressed it at all the viewers, so don't feel called out by that in any way. I was seeing all the different varieties of people that could be listening to this answer, and it didn't sound like from your voice that you have any sort of lack of confidence. So, yeah. Thanks again for the question. And make sure, everybody, to check out this show live on Twitch if you want to watch it, the post-game show, the post-show show. We're about to head over there right now, and I'm going to dive into Twitch chat and handle everybody's questions in a one-on-one manner. Not a one-on-one manner, but, in a kind of conversational manner. If you want more of this, go there. Join me 6:30 p.m. every single day, Los Angeles time, except for this Saturday. It's going to be 8 or 9 a.m. Los Angeles time. But just make sure you have the notifications turned on for the channel, and you will catch that live notification. Talk to you later.